So, yay, I'm finally going to make this video. Well, I'm finally making this video, and this is around weight loss after pregnancy. So this is for specifically for people who find that they get weight evenly distributed on their body when they gain weight, and this is for those who might be struggling to take it off. So to begin with, today I'm just going to give you a quick run through about what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to be running you through a nervous system reset, which is super important for helping your digestion work properly, helping everything do what it's supposed to do. I'm also going to run you through some nutritional stuff. I'm going to run you through some movement stuff and just give you a bit more information around how to really get weight loss going for you. So to begin with, I'm going to run you through a nervous system reset, which you can do every day. Doing this in the morning, especially like if you find yourself getting really wired, if you find yourself really overwhelmed and big emotions come and you're kind of feeling not yourself, this is perfect, and it only takes just 30 seconds. So to begin with, you're going to tilt your head just to this side to start with, and then you're going to look up in the opposite direction, and we're just going to go 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to look down in the same direction that your neck is tilted towards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to come back to neutral, and you're going to put your head all the way to the other side, and you're going to look up the opposite direction to which your head is tilted. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your head in the same spot and look down in the direction that your head is tilting. 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can do this anytime that you're feeling wired as well. It doesn't have to just be in relation to weight loss. This is good. We want your nervous system to be doing what it's supposed to, and that's be in a regulated state. So now, one thing I do want to say around weight loss, especially postpartum and even especially when you're breastfeeding, listen to your body over anybody else. If anybody else is telling you to restrict your calories to lose weight after giving birth, or especially whilst breastfeeding, best be getting some information from somebody else. And you might be thinking, oh yeah, but like calorie deficit always leads to weight loss. However, it doesn't lead to sustainable weight loss most of the time, because when you force yourself into a calorie deficit, you're also actually limiting a lot of nutrients that your body can absorb by eating the right amount of foods. You can slow down your metabolism, especially if you're breastfeeding. You don't want to do that. You want to speed up your metabolism. And also, a lot of the time when you're given a calorie restriction, doesn't take into consideration your body, how much you exercise, how much muscle you have. It doesn't take into consideration a lot of those different things. So my recommendation is not to actually calorie restrict. It is to focus on what you're bulking the majority of your diet out to be. And when I remember when I first had my first baby, I was tired. I bled a lot. I had a hemorrhage, and so I just wanted to eat everything all the time, and I was quite tired and I felt quite exhausted, and so I went for packaged meals, which is great because we have a lot of really, really great, healthy, nutritious meal that you can get delivered to your door now. However, I didn't do that. Don't recommend doing that. And then, I would say to myself, I don't know why I'm not losing weight, I'm doing all the things, and then I'd be like, and I kind of was like, you're telling yourself lies. You're eating packaged stuff that's not that healthful. Like, it wasn't the worst, but it was like gluten-free battered fish, and I'm like, it's gluten-free, and I'm like, okay, we can tell ourselves all these things, and that stuff is fine, but you've got to bulk up the diet with nutritious food. Ideally, like, you ask anybody or you even look at diet of anyone who maintains really great health and a really lean body year round, you look at what they're eating. majority of the time, they're eating tons of vegetables, tons of fruit. They're not having lots of deep fried stuff. They're not having lots of stuff with oils. And yeah, you might see them eat like a ton of food, and you might see them eat a bunch of unhealthy stuff, and you might be like, oh my God, but how do they stay skinny? Or how do they stay, and what it comes down to is what they're eating majority of the time. So you can actually still enjoy some of the stuff, little treats and things like that, because, to show you, I've actually got a little lollipop here. I don't have lollipops that often, but you might actually be able to hear, I've got a bit of a throat thing going on, so that stops me from coughing. But I'm not concerned about that, because I know that me having a lollipop is not going to be make or break for me, because I bulk out my diet with vegetables. So on the nutritional aspect side of things, one, don't calorie restrict, but also don't eat for the sake of eating. If you find yourself getting into that pattern, love yourself anyway, and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I ate when I wasn't hungry, can I forgive myself? Can I move on? But, try not to make excuses when it comes to eating. Like if you get bored, find something meaningful to do. Maybe there's something craft that you can do. Maybe you can really just encourage yourself to get out of the house and go for a walk. Find something else to do other than boredom eat. Because obviously that's where like the excess calories can come in if we're going to look at calories. But what you want to do in terms of your food consumption is just really, really bulk out your meals with vegetables that you like. And I'm not even going to tell you to restrict carbs or that sort of thing. What I'm going to say is, if you feel like eating potatoes, eat potatoes, right? Your body is not to be hated. Your body, if you get the urge to eat potatoes, don't let your brain come in and go, oh my gosh, but there's too much carbs, and carbs, like, whatever your brain is telling you over what you're feeling, go with what you're feeling, because your body will give you signals on what it wants to eat. And bulking out on vegetables is ideally what you want to do. Because actually, a regular sized potato only has about 100 calories. And so that's actually not much, because a breastfeeding mother's probably going to be having about 2,200 calories a day. And that's for someone who's not overly active. So if you work out or you walk and things like that, you're actually going to want more calories than that. And so you'd have to have 22 potatoes and nothing else in that day for you to get 2,200 calories with the potatoes. So potatoes actually aren't actually that high in calories. Yes, they're high in carbs, which is great, because you actually need carbohydrates when you're breastfeeding. And also carbohydrates are important for the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is movement. What I recommend is, watery vegetables. So I'm just going to rattle off a bit of a list of some of the vegetables. And so again, I'm going to give a list of vegetables, but don't feel like you have to eat all of those vegetables. Get what is available to you, what's in season. Again, if you really don't like that vegetable, don't force yourself to eat it. If you feel like you get some reaction to it, again, don't eat it. Things like broccoli, cauliflower, all your green leafy vegetables, like your Asian greens, your bok choy, your pak choy, all of those things are super high in nutrients. And so the way that I look at it is that you want to have really high nutrient foods. So all of your green leafy vegetables, again, if there's some that you don't like, don't have them. I eat like potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that. Another thing that I like to talk about is, when you're cooking the foods, opt for not using processed oils with them. I mean, a little bit here and there. Like say if you're like, I really want fried eggs and I don't want them to stick to the pan, by all means, a little bit of butter or a little bit of olive oil or whatever to stop the things from sticking. However, I recommend finding other ways of making those vegetables taste nice, or cook those vegetables. And the reason I say that again is not to restrict your calories, but actually to make sure that there's enough room to bulk out your diet with vegetables. Because if you're having a lot of oils in your diet, then you're not going to feel hungry as much as you probably should, and you're going to eat less vegetables. And so the reason that's important is because the higher nutrient levels in your body, the better your organs function, the better you feel, the more energy you feel, the more energy you have for movement, again, which is really, really important for your lymph, because a lot of women, they hold water after birth. So that helps get your lymph moving, helps get the water balance in your body right, helps get all the crap out of your body so it's not overloading your organs. But also high nutrients. The more nutrients and minerals, vitamins that you have in your body, the more that your body's able to repair quicker, the better your organs will function. The reason that's very important is because your organs are what detoxify your fat. And if your organs aren't working properly, specifically think things like your liver and your kidneys. If they're not working properly, you're going to hold on to weight. And the higher nutrient levels you have in your body, the more likely those organs are to work efficiently. So kidneys is all about water balance. So helping you stay hydrated, but without you being puffy, without your body holding on to excess water. And your liver function is super important for detoxifying fat cells. So you naturally gain weight during pregnancy to support you in case you need extra calories and you don't have food. And so the more nutrients that you have available to you, the better your kidneys will function, the better your liver will function, the more efficient it will be at cleaning out your fat cells and lowering your weight quicker. And you might be like, oh my gosh, but that's different to what I've been told. But see, this is the reason why a lot of people can be doing all the things. You're like, I'm only eating this many calories. I'm exercising as I'm supposed to be, but I'm just not losing the weight as fast as I should. And it's usually because your organs aren't functioning as well as they want, and so as you want them to be. And so the more that you bulk out your diet with vegetables that you like and finding ways to add in more vegetables, the better off you're going to be in terms of your weight loss. And so, like I like to add lots of herbs and spices. I find that sometimes people, they don't want to eat vegetable because they find them quite bland. However, the less processed food you eat, the more that your palate will change towards enjoying more foods that don't have, say, flavor enhancers. So your taste buds actually renew every 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks of reducing your processed food intake, you'll actually find that vegetables start to taste better and better and better, because your palate becomes more refined and you can taste more simple flavors, because it's kind of like, it's like the same with sugar, right? Once you stop, like the less sugar you eat, the more sweet everything else tastes. And it's the same thing when it comes to flavors. And so bulking out your diet in vegetables. Also make sure that you're having fruit there. Fruit is really great for water balance, especially around breastfeeding, because it's so easy to get dehydrated when you're breastfeeding, because it's just like, not only are you trying to like hydrate your own cells, you've got to hydrate your children. And so what it does is there's actually great electrolytes in fruit. So even if you're like not a massive fruit fan, you can put a little bit of fruit in your water, and what it actually does is it creates smaller particles of the water. It breaks up the particles. So a lot of time the water that comes out the tap has got really big particles, say like this, and they're all clumped together. Putting fruit in the water, or salt, tiny pinch of salt in the water, what it actually does is it actually breaks all these apart and makes them smaller, which means that when you've got a cell in the body, it makes it very easy for the water to enter into the cell. But when they're all clumped together and then you've got a cell this big and it's like the water molecules this big, it can't get in. So hydration is like, if you're low in minerals to begin with, it's going to be very hard to hydrate. So adding electrolytes, aka fruit, and a little bit of fruit into your water, infusing it in your water will help you get you hydrated, which it's very important, because if you're dehydrated, you actually feel more hungry. Again, the fruit that you like, encourage you to try new things, try new fruits. And again, just like just try lots of vegetables, bulk as much vegetables as you can. You will find yourself wanting to eat more frequently and bigger amounts because, again, there's less calories in vegetables. And make sure you're getting enough amino acids. So make sure you've got a different variety of different proteins you're getting in there. If you're vegetarian, make sure that you always have a grain with either a legume, which is a bean, a lentil, or a nut and a seed. So you need to have those things together always, unless you're having sweet potato with the sweet potato leaves and quinoa. So quinoa is a complete protein, so it has all of the amino acids you need in it, and so does sweet potato with the sweet potato leaves. Not many places sell those anymore together. But if you're not doing those things, if you're not eating those things and you're a vegetarian, make sure that you're having rice with either, or like a grain. So rice, wheat, sorghum, rye, any type of grain with either a legume, a nut, or a seed. So you need to be making sure that at every single meal you're having that combination. For anyone who eats meat, you need to be having just a really good variety. You may even like to try like beef liver and like the organ meats of the different animals, but just making sure that you're having a good variety, so that you're like eating eggs, eating beef, eating pork, and then just making sure that you're getting a right variety of amino acids in your diet for repair of all of your muscles, to make sure that everything's repairing nicely. And then the last thing is actually movement. So I think the food side of things actually comes first, because the more that you're, again, eating enough carbohydrates, eating enough nutrients, the more energy you're going to have to go out and move. A lot of people like to just do a bit of core stabilization. I'm going to share another video around core stabilization soon. You should be able to find it in my Instagram newsfeed, or at least linked in my YouTube. A lot of people like to do core stabilization and just a bit of core work, which is really, really, really helpful, especially if you get hip pain. The other thing is just walking. So these are my recommendations. I mean, if you love working out and you want to start working out, absolutely. But that will just change in terms of your diet a little bit. It just means that you're going to want a little bit more carbohydrates, so more starchy vegetables, and a little bit, or you can have a little bit more fruit and having a little bit more protein. That's just how that's going to change there if you do feel like working out. However, for weight loss, one of the best things you can do is just go out and walk for half an hour a day, chuck the kids in the pram, and just walk, just to get those 10,000 steps. And so that's my recommendations. This is one of the best ways that like if you do these things, you make sure that your nervous system is good. You do the nervous system reset every day. You bulk out the main of your diet with fruit and vegetables, and you walk every day. Honestly, I can't see any reason why your body wouldn't start losing weight and wouldn't naturally want to do that. And when I say this, when the body wants to lose weight, it's always sustainable. And the way that you help your body get on board is you make sure that the body has everything it needs. Hydration, minerals, nutrients, movement. All right, I'd love if you like this video, leave a comment. Thanks guys, bye.